If you're a day one player like me, you've probably spent a decade loading into these same social spaces, checking the same vendors week after week, and watching the traveler hang in silence above the city. It's a strange thing to live alongside a virtual universe for a significant portion of your life. Lately, the tower has felt different. It isn't empty, but it's quiet. The air feels thinner. We are currently standing at a crossroads that feels more like a graveyard. Destiny 2 is at an all-time low. It points to a singular, uncomfortable truth. The heartbeat of Destiny 2 is the lowest it's ever been. Today, I want to talk about why that is. Not with doom or with anger, but as a reflection of a guardian who still cares about the game. How did we get here? And more importantly, is there a way back? If you look at the data, the story is like a bleed out. We're seeing the lowest player counts in the history of the franchise. Even during the content droughts of the past, there was a baseline, a floor that the community never quite fell through. Now, it feels like we're testing that floor. It's strange. You walk into the tower and see a handful of guardians. The servers aren't completely dead, but they aren't full either. The tower isn't necessarily a ghost town, yet there is definitely an emptiness in the air. The matchmaking for activities takes a little longer, and your friends lists are mostly dim and probably idle. But why? Could it just be fatigue? Or is it something deeper? To be fair, 10 years is a long time to ask players to keep rolling with the punches. We used to talk about Destiny as a hobby. No, even more than a hobby. As the game we used to play instead of literally doing anything else. Now, it feels more like a game we only use to reminisce on the good times we've had in the past. This nostalgia leaves us feeling close and warm. But more importantly, it keeps us thinking about what could have been. On top of this emptiness, there are items that are more concrete. The portal, for example. On paper, the implementation of the portal made sense, a way to streamline all activities, to bring order to a plethora of campaigns, strikes, battlegrounds, dungeons, raids, and exotic missions. A one-stop shop for the modern Guardian. But in practice, something was lost in translation. By centralizing most loot into a menu-driven hub, we lost the friction of the world. And friction, strangely enough, is what makes a world feel real. When you can just portal yourself into a curated slice of a mission, you stop existing in the space between. The sense of scale, the feeling of the universe that is vast and dangerous, has been replaced by a simple menu screen. It almost feels cold. Combined with a lack of substantial, world-shifting content in the recent months, the portal has turned Destiny 2 into a playlist simulator. We aren't exploring patrols or navigating the director anymore. We're just clicking buttons. The magic isn't in the menu screen. It is in the mysteries that these places behold. And right now, that same mystery almost feels forgotten. Archived, like it's been locked up in a cell begging to be set free. We also can't ignore the elephant in the room. Bungie isn't the same studio it was in 2014. With the release of Marathon earlier this year, the focus has clearly shifted. It's the natural evolution of a creator, wanting to build something new to find a different voice. As a Destiny player, you can't help to feel that you've been left in the dark just like the rest of the content that has been stuck in the so-called DCV. While Marathon is receiving the experimental energy and the fresh resources at Bungie, Destiny 2 has felt like it's on life support. Steady, reliable, but lacking that lightning in a bottle motive that we all expect. We see the talent being pulled in two directions, and as a result, the Fate Saga has felt more like a graceful exit than a bold new beginning. So, what happens now? Well, recently, to be confirmed, yet drawing conversation, a leak suggests that a Destiny 3 is in extremely early development. For some, this is a betrayal, a sign that our current vaults, our current titles, and our current journeys are destined for another reset. But I think for most others, including myself, this is the only hope left at this point. Maybe a turnaround for Destiny 2 involves more than just fixing the portal or adding a new raid. Maybe the engine, the structure, and the weight of almost 10 years of the second iteration are simply too heavy to carry anymore. I find myself in a strange place. I want Destiny 2 to succeed. I want to see this game return to its former glory. But as a fan who's seen it all, from the OG loot cave to defeating the Witness in the final shape, I find myself looking at that Destiny 3 rumor not with fear, but with a sense of relief. The idea of a fresh start, possibly on a new engine, a world built for the next decade, sounds considerably better than the one we are currently living in. If this is truly Destiny's quietest hour, then perhaps it's the silence before the dawn. Destiny is a game about hope. It's right there in the lore, and in the way we keep coming back even when the servers are thin. Whether it's a massive course of correction for Destiny 2, like the removal of the portal, or a refocus on the world building, or even the birth of something entirely new in a Destiny 3, I'm still going to be here. Because at the end of the day, it was never just about the game. It was about the time spent with friends, the raids that went into the early morning, and the feeling that just for a few hours each night, we were something more than just humans. We were guardians, and maybe we still are. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you were able to connect with some of these thoughts, and I will talk to you all later.